11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Welcome to your first day on the job. This is your very own autopilot ship, where you will eat and sleep for the duration of your contract. Make yourself at home. To complete the onboarding process, you will want to check the instruction manual and sign into your ship's computer terminal. We trust you will be a great asset to the company.
The company is a mysterious entity shrouded in a cloud of mystery. Not much is known about it, yet we're its employees, with only a season of work and amazing pay, for a job as mundane and simple as traveling through moons and retrieving scrap. But is that really all there is to it? Stick with me as I try to solve the mystery surrounding the existence and origins of the company. The beginning of the longest clash between two global superpowers, conflict spanning across the entire world, tension, fear of what's to come, threats of atomic bombs, millions wiped away within seconds. The world stopped. Warsaw Pact, or the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the Soviet Union, or the USA. Not going to meddle in the details, the real question is, which one of them is going to conquer space first? Space race spanned from 1955 to 1969, resulting in the USA reaching the moon first. Numerous attempts were made both by the Soviet Union and the US. 1967, the year before Sigurd's entry into the company, turned out to be the deadliest. 3 US and 1 Soviet astronaut died after a launch to space. 1968, US spacecraft Apollo 8 becomes the first human-crewed spacecraft to reach the moon and orbit it, and finally 1969, Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin become the first men to walk on the moon. But wait, this doesn't add up. The first entry into the diary of Sigurd and his crew was written on August 22, 1968. It also indicates that they started working there even before this date. The first spacecraft to orbit the moon was on December 21, 1968. Human technology was barely in a state to allow people to travel to space and guarantee them to safely return. Now I'm going to mention the fact that the company makes interplanetary travel possible with their own spacecrafts even before the year 1968. Did the global superpowers really try to get to space only because of satellites and to walk on the moon first? Or is there something deeper hiding behind it? Was the government already sending people to space before behind closed doors, in fear of what's beyond the walls of the company, or do humans play no part in this at all? Sigurd mentions entering the self-driving shuttle and signing the contract there, which in terms of technology is years ahead of the human race in 1968. He also mentions the fact that he has no clue how he found the job, or how he even got there. My first theory is that it could be dangerous and difficult finding volunteers every time they lose a member. As mentioned, the job is only for a season and the pay is good, but the risk of the job is too great, and it would take way too long to replace them right away. The theory is that the 4 members working for the company are clones that get created every time they need a replacement, hence the fact they have no memory of how or why they're working there. There could be small pieces left when Sigurd mentions finding this job to show his father he's capable, or him mentioning the fact he started writing logs was because of his brother's advice. The second theory I have is that the crew members didn't lose their memory because of cloning. It happened gradually because of the repetitiveness of the task they were doing daily and losing track of time and memory simultaneously. Now back to how he started working for the company. When desperate for a job, he was lured by the company with false promises of survival, yet the fact that he'd been working in space wasn't strange to him at all. Following up on that statement, could the company be disguising itself as a government figure, or most probably NASA, needing workers for space expeditions? Also, the reason I believe it's mainly taking place in the USA is because the logs are written in English and no other English-speaking country outside of the US was even close to getting to space. And this might be a reach, but during one of the days he mentions the company selling at a 120% rate and mentions Desmond watching it like the stupid stocks. The majority of the stock market is in the US, and watching the stocks is something you would connect with an American. An English-speaking country with technology to travel to space in the year 1968. Yeah, I think we're on the right track here. Let's summarize. It started during the Cold War, in the heat of the space race between two global superpowers, the Soviet Union and the United States of America, disguising itself as NASA or a government figure handing out shady job applications in the form of space expeditions about searching and delivering scrap on abandoned moons. Preying on unemployed people desperate to take anything they get and with only a season of work, who wouldn't take that offer? Not only that, but to explore space as well as be part of history, or so they thought. Sigurd's arrival or his first days on the job are never mentioned, but he's probably faced many threats early on after referring to his crew bringing showers everywhere to bash anomalies. It's really truly a surprise to how long they've been able to survive together, due to the circumstances they've been given, since in the job advertisement video the possibility of hostile threats has not been mentioned, further hiding its true colors. There have also been claims that the four crewmates, Sigurd, Richard, Desmond and Jess, might not even be human. But if you read the logs thoroughly, there's numerous pieces of evidence confirming the fact they are. Also, how would Sigurd know anything about months on Earth if he was an alien? Maybe it wasn't a plot by the company to trick people into working for them. Maybe the human race found out about the threat first and had to find a way to stop it. As shown in the game, there are numerous moons with human structures already built there, indicating we were inhabiting these planets probably long before we entered the company. Now the real question is, why were they forced to leave the moons and their structures behind? Did it have anything to do with the threats we faced during the scrap runs, or is it about the company building hiding away a huge monster capable of eating worlds if not fed? There's been a mention of a phone call to Sigurd telling him of some golden planet that's regarded as a myth, being eaten by a huge creature. In my opinion, this huge creature that's able to eat worlds is the one being fed by the company behind its walls, and we're the ones keeping it at bay. If you've played the game, you'll know that the longer you take to deliver the scrap to the company, the more the interest rate goes up, indicating they're in need of scrap and they need it fast. In the logs, Sigurd mentioned that the interest rate went up all the way to 120% at some point, which probably meant the creature was in such an unstable state it needed to be fed ASAP. The human race had to find a way to stop it. Maybe one of our colonies has already been swallowed by the creature. We started sending out workers to space and formed a company, which takes care of the hiring and feeding process. And maybe I'm completely wrong and it's going to be explained later on as the story progresses. Who knows? These are just my thoughts and theories I want to put out so I and you guys can discuss this. Let me know in the comments what you think about this and share your thoughts. In every video I make, I try to spark discussion so I can read your opinions on this topic, so don't forget to comment. If you like this video, then like and subscribe, and remember, don't sign any contracts on an autopiloted vessel. Take care, guys. By the way, one last reminder before I leave you to explore the YouTube recommended page. If you love gaming stuff or maybe even little company funny moments.
Richard, he's on your right.
Guys! Or want to see me and my friends play it together? Go check out Bailey for more content. Now you can take care.